For our last video of the notes, we are on our last example, example number 4, and it says that Jake and Brad each opened up their own savings account. Jake made an initial deposit of $200 and plans to deposit $20 a week. Brad did not make an initial deposit, but he will save $60 a week. So first thing we need to do is write an equation that represents the amount of money in Jake's savings account. Now to help us along here, we're going to use y as the amount of money that we have in the account, and x is the number of weeks. So in this case, we would say for Jake, y, the amount of money that we have, equals 20 times x, because every week he's putting in an extra $20, plus 200, because he started with $200 in there already. Decided I'm going to put in a little bit to begin with, and then as I go, I'm going to put more in there as I go. So 20 was from 20 per week to 100, because that's what he started with. For the next piece, we need to write an equation that represents the amount of money in Brad's savings account. Now again, we'll use y as money, x is the number of weeks. So in this case, the amount of money that he has would be equal to however many weeks there are times 60, because he's putting in 60 every week, plus 0, because he's not going to start with anything. 0 from having no initial deposit, and 60, or 60x, because he's putting in 60 every week. So these would be our two equations. For the next piece, we need to sketch a graph for it. Now, along our x-axis at the bottom, I want you to write, again, just each time we go over, go 1 up there. So 0 through 12 weeks. Now, as we move up the y-axis, we're going to jump by 20s, just so we can get all of the money in there. We have to kind of increase our scale here. So again, I'm going to use the red one for Jake and the blue one for Brad, and we're going to see exactly how their savings accounts will grow. So for Jake in red, he's going to start up here at 200. He initially put in $200, and every week as he goes, he's putting in another 20. So after 1 week, after we move over 1, he would be going up 20 to 220. Again, if we go another week over, he's going to go up another 20. And this is going to continue every week. He's going to be getting $20 more that he's putting in there. So, smartboard got a little off. There we are. His line is going to look something like that. Now for Brad, his is in blue again. After 0 weeks, so when he just started off, he doesn't have any money in there, so he's going to start down here. But again, after 1 week, he's going to be getting some money, because that's what he's putting in there. He's going to be up at 60. So he's putting in a little bit more than Jake was. So after 2 weeks, Brad is going to be all the way up at 120. After 3 weeks, he's going to be all the way up at 180. And he's going to continue to grow a little bit more each time. Oops, a little bit more, a little bit faster than Jake would. If we connect his, it's going to look something like this. Now in this case, we can see right here, this is where they cross each other. This is where they intersect. Okay, they're both going to have $300, and if we look at our X amount, it's going to be after 5 weeks. At the bottom, the question is, in how many weeks will they have saved the same amount of money? Well, it's going to be 5 weeks. And again, how much after those 5 weeks, exactly how much would they each have? They'd each have $300 after 5 weeks. So that concludes our notes for 2.1.